Yeah, welcome back, fellas. This lap guide is Spa-Francorchamps in the Group 4 Jaguar. A few things of note. I think we're running brake balance 0 on this lap. We were juggling between rear 1 and 0. I did try rear 2 and rear 3. They felt terrible, and so did 1 to the front. That was bad. So I would suggest we'll chuck that on 0. Not a lot of action, plenty of time to rest here at Spa, long straights, which means we really have to nail those apexes and get onto the throttle as quickly as possible, maximising those wide open throttle runs. And yeah, a few high speed corners in there, a little bit of trail braking, a few corners where we don't do any threshold braking at all. So yeah, without further ado, let's jump on board and make our way down to turn 1. So braking just after the 100 board on the left hand side, a little click into first just to help the car rotate on the apex, then jab some wide open throttle, short shift second, and now we're just going to buckle up, buckaroos, for some wide open throttle action. Using all the curb on the left hand side, just keeping half your tyre on the curb to avoid the penalties. So you really need to get through a Rouge and Bredilian at full throttle. Just keep practicing till you do. Yeah, so braking just before the 100 board, almost trying to get the front bar in line with the 100 board. About 50 metres worth of threshold braking before we start trailing into the apex. Drop 2 gears real quick, then wait for third. Some part throttle here, trying to get the car balanced. You really want to, at the end of that second corner, you want to be getting back to the curb on the left hand side here. Really open up this last corner in the chicane. A little lift so the car hits the apex, then it's back to wide open throttle, up 4, 5, and then braking just before the curbing on the left hand side. A really long trail braking section with the green stuff. The last green thing on the right hand side being your apex. Little touch of the brakes just to get the nose turned on here. Really want to get back to wide open throttle quickly to maximise another straight. And touch of brakes just to keep the nose down, holding it all the way to the apex. Let the car run out to the curb. You want to be wide open throttle as early as possible. Maximise that wide open throttle stretch. Braking at the shadow. Threshold braking, we're going to drop 2 gears once again and then hold, then pick up third, collect some apex, balance the throttle in the middle here, try and get some wide open, and just take a break from that second apex. Up into fourth, braking just before the curbing, down into third, use all this curb on the exit. Now turn in and let the car understeer. It's going to feel like you're turning in too early, but you really need to maintain the wide open throttle through there. So turn in early, let the nose slide over to the apex of the corner, and that will allow you to get through that corner at wide open throttle. This one's really tricky. There should be some tyre marks on the ground at turn in. You can just rub your tyres on the inside curb there. Braking at the shadows in the middle there. Oh, I thought we had a stop screen, we've obviously missed it. So at about the 150 metre board, you're trying to brake there. A little jab of wide open throttle in the bus stop. And then we just graze our foot over the top of the brake to get the nose turned in once again. So here we are for the onboard, braking just after the 100 metre. Click first late to get the car rotated. Now we want to start Bredilian from the wall. We're going to stay to the right hand side here and get a nice gentle curve, really opening up Eau Rouge. Or maybe I've got them back to front, can't remember. And then, yeah, just sit here and wait. It takes forever. Get mentally prepared to hit the brakes here. Nice threshold. I'm using the 100 metre board, trying to get to the 100 metre board. Fourth, wait for third, use the curbs. Back across to the left hand curb before we turn in. Picking up wide open throttle before the apex there. You get a nice run down here. Long trail braking section here as we keep weight on the nose. Last green little indent on the right hand side is your apex. Get back across to the right hand side so we can open up this turn as well. Using all the curb, plenty of curb there on the exit. You can lose a little bit of push on the accelerator using too much of the AstroTurf, but just trying to avoid that. Hold the nose down to the apex. And yeah, another threshold braking just at the shadows. 3, 4th as we get closer to the apex, or 3rd, sorry. On the juice, nice and early, push out, now back across the left hand side of the road. We're really trying to open up every single one of the corners here at Spa. Really high speed circuit, so every kilometre an hour you're losing at the apex will affect your terminal velocity at the end of each of these straights. And it can be pretty costly. Just 1 or 2 missed apexes here will cost you quite a few seconds. So just really work on those. I struggle with this one myself, always running wide there and getting a bit of tyre squeal. So braking at the 150 board, angling to the left, come back across, first gear to rotate, jab the throttle, brush the brakes to get the nose turned in. So yeah, just experiment with brushing the brakes there. Some do, some don't. And yeah, thanks for tuning in, and I will catch you all next week.